I get emotional a little bit when I talk about the Philippines, but this place changed my life. This place gave me so much. Walk and talk, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome to Metro Manila here in the Philippines. Today, we're going to be doing a walk and talk about why exactly I returned to a country and a city that I love so much here on planet Earth. That's today's walk and talk. If you guys don't know what walk and talk is, it's a series I do with my patrons on Patreon, where my patrons leave me suggestions of things to talk about on the videos. You guys make this series what it is, so if you want to support this series, go on to patreon.com, check it out, link will be in the description. But before we do anything else, let's roll the intro. Alright friends, I thought the ultimate way to do one of these walk and talks would be to take you guys to the top of the condo that I'm currently staying at here in Makati in Manila. If you guys don't know what Makati is, it's probably the fanciest part of Manila, except for that area. I was staying there a few days ago in BGC. And if you guys saw where we came from originally, we came from an area called Tondo, which was a very low income, impoverished neighborhood. So it's very cool to see the contrast in the city. My biggest thing whenever I travel to places is always to see all sides, or try to see as many sides as possible. But I feel like by living in these different areas in Manila, I'm slowly getting a really good gauge on the city and feeling it out. The question is today, why did I move back to the Philippines? Why did I come back to Manila? Why am I here in the first place? And I thought I would explain this story to you guys because it's actually pretty interesting. Believe it or not, I did not expect myself to be here right now. I was not supposed to be here. I was supposed to actually be in Mexico at this time of year. I was actually supposed to leave Sri Lanka about a month ago now and come back to the United States of America and then eventually go to Mexico and maybe even start traveling parts of South America. I left home in August, the end of July, with my friend Steve Yallo to go on an epic Euro trip. That was the original plan. And then Sri Lanka was up in the air. We didn't know if that was going to happen 100%. And then we ended up in Sri Lanka doing the tuk-tuk tournament. My plans in Sri Lanka changed also because I wasn't supposed to be in Sri Lanka for as long as I thought it was going to be. It was really something I only thought I would be there maybe for a month, maybe a little bit longer, and then ended up really falling in love with the country and staying longer. But with the Philippines, I've talked about this before, and I mean, part of the reason why I'm making this video is to address the fact that there's a lot of people out there who think that I came back here strictly for views. So I just want to explain myself. Not that I care, because a lot of people are using the term haters, and they aren't really people who watch these videos anyways. They're not really people who know who I am. They're not people who probably watched my content that I made here 2 years ago. But I can assure you the last reason that I came to the Philippines this time around was for views. I've actually been extremely afraid of coming back to the Philippines for the last 2 years, just because I was scared of the repercussions of growing my channel here. And I've talked about this in extension. When I grew my channel here originally and I left the country, the audience that I grew here in the Philippines did not continue to watch my other content around the world. And when a majority of your channel is grown in one place and a majority of those subscribers don't keep watching the videos, it makes it really hard to succeed on YouTube because, and it's not at fault of anybody except for myself. It's definitely not as fault as the Filipino viewers. The Filipino viewers will watch what they want to watch. You guys watch what you want to watch. It's not anything to do with me. It's not anything to do with you. It's just a situation. And learning that and having to adapt to it was a really difficult process. And that's why I held off from coming back to the Philippines for so long. It was something in my brain where I said I would not allow myself to come back here unless I grew my channel past 100,000 subscribers. Then I would feel comfortable to come back here because I thought I would be able to grow a solid audience somewhere else. So I tried staying in the United States, I tried going to Japan, I tried going to all different kinds of places, Hawaii, and I stayed in the US for pretty much a year without leaving. and limited the Filipino content that I would make, limited the content that I would make that, you know, would attract people from a different country. When I was in Sri Lanka, I came to a point where I had to make a decision on whether I was going back home or not. And it's a tough decision that I can't really talk about on camera. Unfortunately, I hate to be one of those content creators who's like, oh, I can't talk about something, but I genuinely can't talk about it because it might jeopardize different things that I have going on in the future. But I was put up into a tough situation in Sri Lanka, having to decide whether I was going to basically spend a lot of money to get back home or have to bear the Christmas season somewhere in Asia. Because my Sri Lanka visa was ending, and it was about $100 US to renew a Sri Lankan visa in Sri Lanka as a US citizen. So it was a tough decision. I was like, what do? I don't know what to do. Like I'm placed with such a tough decision right now because I'm also a business and I have to think about the money. Unfortunately, I have to think about every decision financially that I make. And then my friend Brandon Bruce that I'm traveling with, his plan was to go to the Philippines. He was planning on going this entire time. And I kept on hyping him up. I kept on giving him ideas, but in the back of my head, I was like, I'm not really going to go to the Philippines. There's no way that I'm going to end up back in the Philippines right now. I'm just not ready for it. I felt like I wanted time to prepare to come back here. But the more I kept talking to him about it, and the more I kept giving him tips and tricks on places he should go, the more it was tugging on my heartstring. I was like, I get emotional a little bit when I talk about the Philippines, but this place changed my life. This place gave me so much. I can't really explain to you guys in words how much I love the Philippines. And I don't say it in a cliche way. Like I really am in love with this country, and I know I say it a lot in a lot of videos, but there's a different level of love here. You know, I have allegiance to America, to the United States of America, because I'm from there. I have allegiance to Israel because my family's from there, because I grew up in parts of Israel, and I got to live an Israeli existence for a lot of my life. The Philippines is a country that came into my life 2 years ago. Before that, I really didn't know much about the Philippines. I didn't really know much about Filipinos. I didn't know much about the food, about the culture. For some odd reason, in my brain is this love that I can't explain for this country. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that when I came here 2 years ago, I was in a very, very different position in my life. I was lost, I was confused, I didn't have a lot of money on me. My career hadn't really started taking off at any certain point, and people here constantly just showed me love. They took me in, they fed me, they'd give me housing, they would take me on adventures when I really didn't have much to give back. And I was really just in the process of taking. And I mean, let alone Borja and Daphne, my friends who I met here, who basically became my parents for 2 months and just took me in like a little child who didn't have a home, and took me in and helped me create so much content that was amazing that I'll never be able to repay them for. It was things like that they just gave me such a sweet flavor in my mouth for this country. And so the more I kept talking to my friend Brandon about the Philippines, the more I just felt like I really needed to come back. And I knew that I was going to be in Asia. I pretty much knew I wasn't going to come back to the United States because it just wasn't going to make sense. And so around a month ago, I was like, oh, what do I do? Do I go back to the Philippines? Do I go to somewhere else in Asia that I haven't been before? Like, we're coming up to the Christmas season. I know that I'll probably be able to do a lot of good. And I kept on remembering what I was given during Christmas season 2 years ago here when a family in a slum in Cebu brought me into their house and fed me and let me hang out with them. And I was like, you know, I'm in a different position now. I'm in a different position financially. I'm a different man now. I really am. I'm not saying that in like a cocky way, but I really have changed a lot in the last 2 years. And I feel a responsibility to take care of my fellow Filipinos who helped me out, even though it's not the same people. But as a country, I wanted to give back to the people here. And so I found myself in a position deciding that I could probably do a lot of good if I came back, even if it was for a short amount of time. And I wanted to come back with purpose. I didn't want to come back and just be like, oh, I'm just going back to Palawan. I'm just going to go make 20 Jollibee videos and 20 mall videos, even though I am making those right now, but there's a reason and I'll explain. I wanted to come back with purpose. I wanted to do something that would make a difference in Filipinos' lives because they made a difference in my life. And I realized how much that affected me. And so the mission of this trip was born. And the mission of this trip was to, first of all, come in during the holiday season, capitalize on the fact that you guys love watching Christmas videos, you guys love watching New Year's videos. There's no surprise as to why we made them. But obviously in that context, make videos that actually help people by buying people dinner, by passing out toys in the slums, by hanging out with kids, by giving back to people who don't experience the love and hospitality that foreigners have to give back to Filipinos. You know, people in Tondo, where we were, don't get to experience tourists. A lot of them, we were the first tourists they've met because tourists don't stay there. So sort of capitalizing on that and building up an area that might potentially one day get tourists to come there. You know, maybe through the vlogs that we created there, some tourists will see, hey, that's an opportunity, I want to go. And then pour some money into Tondo, maybe help out those communities. Things like that. And then of course, the big mission of this trip is to visit Samar and Leyte and to put them on the map. I've been doing research about Samar and Leyte, and they're the two last big islands of the Philippines besides Mindanao that I haven't traveled to personally. And I really want to put them on the map for people. So the goal is to travel there for a short amount of time, visit some of the hotspots, maybe discover some new places that not a lot of people know of, and put them on the map for travelers to go to. So Samar and Leyte are a new location, so those Filipinos can feel some of the love and warmth from travelers coming to the Philippines. Because right now, you know, the Visayas has got it covered, Palawan's got it covered. You go to Bohol, you go to Cebu, everybody knows these areas, but Samar and Leyte are virtually untraveled. People don't really go there. And we want to help put these places on the map so that economy, so those Filipinos out there can feel a little bit of what it's like to get that love from foreigners. So that's where the trip and the goal of this trip was born. Just to address this, I don't want to dabble on the haters and the negativity, but for the people who really think that I came back here just for the views, for sure there's an element to that, because when you come to the Philippines, it's safety. You do get YouTube views, but as you can see by my channel right now, I'm not doing that, and I'm not exactly saddened by it, to be honest. I don't want just Filipinos to be watching my videos. I want this channel to be a channel for everybody. I want the Filipinos who used to watch me, who really appreciate what I do, to come back. Of course, you guys are welcome to the channel, but this channel can't exist as a Filipino-only channel. It's not my goal. I don't want only Filipino people to watch my channel, and I know that I'm not going to stay in the Philippines forever, even though every day that I'm here, I keep convincing myself in my brain that I do want to stay here forever. It's a sort of weird context. I'm sorry. I could make a video in 2 months saying that I'm staying here forever. It might happen. I just love the country so much. And once again, don't say that in a cliche way. I genuinely, every day that I wake up here and I see this view, I'm like, yeah, I might stay here forever. But that being said, just weird ramble off. I know that in my heart, I didn't come back here only for views. It's not a big reason as to why I did it in the first place anyways. Even though the first time around that I came here, and I've been open about this, yes, the first time I ever came to the Philippines, I didn't know anything about this country besides the fact that you get views on YouTube when you come here. So I did come here originally for the views. The first time I came here, I've been open about that. I never hid away from that. But when I fell in love with the country, you know, 2 weeks of traveling here turned into 4 months, and I never ended up leaving. So it's different now. Now I don't need necessarily the Philippines to survive. I'm doing good. My YouTube channel is somewhat surviving. It's somewhat thriving without the necessity of coming back here. So it's not like I came back here because I needed to come back here. I really came back here because I was stuck in a position, a tough situation where I had to make a decision, and a place that I love so much sort of re-popped up on my radar. And it was a sort of split-second decision that I had to make, and decided to come back here because of how much I love this place. So that's pretty much the story. I know it's a little long, I know it's a little rambly, but it's the true story, and you guys need to hear it with full context. And I hope that you guys understand. So, and this is the last thing that I would just request from you guys watching, because of course I know I'm gonna stick a Filipino flag in this thumbnail. You guys are gonna click. I know the process. Let's not hide. There's nothing here happening that I don't know about, right? There's not accidentally Filipino flags ending up in my thumbnails. I put a Filipino flag in the thumbnail because I know you guys are gonna watch it. But that's the point of making YouTube videos, right? Is to get views. We're not here to not get views. It's the whole point of it. And of course, if I'm traveling the Philippines, I want more Filipinos to watch my videos because I know that more opportunities can come through that. And speaking about that, if you guys are watching this channel and you feel moved, if you feel inspired in any sort of way to do good, to change something in the Philippines, to help out people, it's a big part of why I'm here this time around. I want to make differences in people's lives because this country changed my life so radically, because people here made such a big difference in my life. If you guys know people, if you have opportunities, if you have anything happening in the country right now that you think I would like to be a part of, that you think I can make a difference in, just please reach out to me. Please send me a message. If you guys know people in Samar, in Leyte, in Mindanao, the places that I'm planning on traveling, if you know people that are doing cool things, that are doing amazing things, that are changing other people's lives, that you want me to showcase, that you want me to film, if it's your family, if it's your friends, if it's your cousins, whoever, just let me know. Just send me a message. You guys know that I reply mostly to everybody, but I will 9 times out of 10 reply to you if you send me a message. Send me a message on Instagram, send me a comment on YouTube, send me a message on my Facebook page, wherever is more comfortable for you. Just send me a message and let me know what you have going on. And I promise, if it's worth in my eyes to come do it, I will come do it. I will. I promise to you. I want to help out as many people as possible on this trip, and not because I want recognition for it, but because I genuinely love and I miss this country so much. I missed it so much, and it's so good to be back here. If you guys want to submit a question for Walk and Talk, what you can do is go on my Patreon. You can leave as low as $1, and you can delete the contribution next month if you don't want to keep contributing. Just leave me a question. It helps me filter out people, suggestions and stuff. But this was not really a Patreon question. This is something that I wanted to do, and a lot of people in the comments were sort of asking why I came back. So that's the reason we made this video. But I'm gonna end there. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for the people who are returning to the channel right now after 2 years of taking an absence. It makes me so happy seeing how happy that you guys are that I've returned. And I'm just so excited for what's to come in the next few months here in the Philippines. It's gonna be amazing, and it's gonna be different. And it might not necessarily be millions of views like I did the first time around here, because we're going to places that people don't necessarily look up and want to see. But we're really hoping to make a difference in a lot of people's lives. So that's the goal, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Love you long time. Goodbye, Clats.